Hey everybody, it's Jasmine. So I'm excited to share my testimony with you guys. Really, there are a lot of testimonies kind of through a bunch of seasons in my life, but I guess I'll do like the main one and kind of just talk about little pieces here and there, parts of the other one, I guess. I don't know. So I guess the beginning, I grew up in a Christian household. But the thing is that I saw a lot of religion and not a lot of relationship. The only one that I kind of saw with even spiritual discipline was my papa, which is my grandfather. And that was all I had to see it, but I kind of always felt this pull towards God. I remember even at 10 years old thinking, I want to be a pastor. I don't know, I just always kind of felt that pull. And actually my first go around, I guess I can go there. My first go around with school, because I'm getting an integrated studies degree because I made it really far the first time, and I was getting a degree in biology at Webster University. And across the street there was a seminary, and I used to just feel this pull. I just used to sit in class and think about it. And I used to park right next to it for 2 years of me going there. And I would just always kind of feel pulled to go there, to do something, whatever. But at this point, I didn't really have a relationship with Christ. And I was going to church, but I was in an abusive relationship. And I was making a lot of poor decisions, living a life of sin in so many ways. And I had spent majority of my childhood and teens and young adulthood, looking for love, looking for someone to even like me. I just felt rejected through a lot of my life. And so at this time in college, I had been doing drugs, all kinds of drugs. I had been partying, drinking, all the things. Like I said, abusive relationship. And in that relationship, me and my ex, we decided to go on a spiritual journey with him, his cousin, and his cousin's wife. And we just kind of went on the internet rabbit hole, and we all ended up leaving Christianity. He went to New Age. I went to Hebrew Israelite. Y'all, that was awful. And the other two, one went kind of the atheist route, and the other one went somewhere completely different, similar to New Age, but just, I don't know, it was weird. And I denounced Christ. I just fell into this hyper religious spirit, because the Hebrew Israelites, they use the Bible, and it just felt okay, well, Christianity can't be real, what I've been presented, because I didn't see the power in it. I just saw religion, but not kind of in a lukewarm way, not in the way that I was doing religion, which was really strict and trying to follow the law and wearing skirts and keeping your head wrapped up and not eating things. It was just a lot, and it caused a lot of hatred and self-hatred and all these different things. And like I said, I denounced Christ. And I probably was doing that for about a year, maybe a little less. And I started working at a cleaning company, and my partner, he was the only guy in the company, which I thought was hilarious. But God did that because he knew that, I hadn't had a lot of good times with other girls and women in my lifetime, so I wouldn't have trusted a woman. And so I was working with him, and we had the same holy book. He was a Christian, so we would just talk about the Bible. I only accepted the Old Testament back then, so we would just talk about the Bible, and we could still talk about the goodness of God. And here and there, he would just throw in a little Jesus here and a little Jesus there. And it was awesome how God was just seeking me and using him to find me in that time. And one day my life was just kind of falling apart. I felt like, my relationship was bad. This is a different relationship at this point, but my relationship wasn't going well. I didn't like the job, even though I liked my partner in the job. There was just so much, and I just was so tired and exhausted, emotionally and physically. And one day in my room, I literally got on my knees and I was like, Jesus, if you're real, you're gonna have to show me. Then I just started telling him everything. I'm like, I'm tired. If you're real, I'll give you my relationship. I'll give you my life. I'll give you everything. But if you're real, reveal yourself to me. And I ended that prayer, and I kind of didn't think I was going to hear anything. And when I stood up, it was literally like peace was liquid, and the peace just flowed from the top of my head literally to the bottom of my feet, and I was like a cup. And then I literally felt it like raising within me, and to the point where it like overflowed. And at that moment, I knew that Christ was real. And at that point, I just made him my Lord and Savior. And so since then, we've been going strong. That's my testimony.